Hello friends, it's Becky Bridgham coming to you today with our video about energy. And I'm super excited about this one because quite honestly, if you don't have energy to live the life that you desire, that kind of stinks. And I know a lot of people, especially coming through COVID and quarantine and just a lot of the stress in our world right now, feel physically exhausted, feel fatigued, feel like they're just out of gas. And there was actually a study done at the beginning of this year by Kaiser that said 75% of people would describe themselves as fatigued. So there's a difference with being tired. Like, okay, I walked around the zoo all day. I was out in the sun. I cleaned my whole house. I had a long work day and I'm tired. That is a normal body response to putting out a lot of effort. There's a difference between having that happen every day. Like you're waking up tired, you're running out of gas by noon, you're reaching for sugar to just try to make it to the end of the day. That's not the way that we are supposed to live, okay? And the problem is really, if you don't do anything to fix it, it's just going to keep going, right? If you don't fix it, it just sustains. And so luckily today I'm going to talk to you about 3 easy ways that you can check your energy and get it back for good. These are not something that it's just going to help for a day and be gone. These are habits that can help you keep your energy for the long haul, for the rest of your life. Like if you want energy today, tomorrow, 5 years and 15 years, these are things that are going to be helpful. And they're all things that I use personally because I used to be that 2 o'clock chocoholic. 2 o'clock, I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock, time for my chocolate chips, because I would need that sugar. To get my energy back up. But the truth is, in 45 minutes, I'd be crashing and need more sugar, right? That wasn't an actual fix. It was a Band-Aid on the problem. So we're going to talk about some things that are actually going to help you fix your energy deficit. So I have notes just so I don't forget. And I have a couple statistics in here too that I'm going to share. These will all be posted in the video notes. So if you don't have time to watch video or you just want to go back and review, these will all be posted. Also at the end of the week, all the videos will be emailed to any of my First Form clients or app users, okay? So you can watch these for free for 2 whole days. And then after that, they'll be bundled up and given out to all of those First Form users as a bonus, as a thank you for being part of that tribe. So tip number 1 to get your energy back is drinking water. Now, this sounds like a no-brainer. It sounds like, oh, obviously I need to drink more water, but it's not that obvious, right? A lot of times we will overlook, or, when we put out a survey in this event, some people say like, I have 3 glasses of water a day. I have 1 glass, or I can always have more water. Water is that hydration that your cells need. A lot of times when you feel tired, when you feel fatigued, when you feel hungry, you're really just thirsty. So how much water should we be shooting for? Now, science will say about 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're gonna need about 75 to 150 ounces of water. Now you can break that, so this is like my water bottle here. You can break that down into how many of those water bottles do I need in a day? How many do I need at breakfast, lunch, dinner, before my workout? First thing when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna have a water bottle. So you're figuring out a routine that works for you to hit your water goals, and you will find it will help your skin, it helps your digestion, it helps your attitude. Honestly, have you ever been like at the end of the day and like totally dehydrated and cranky? Yeah, it helps your attitude to drink more water, and it will help your energy. So here's just a couple tips. 1, set your goal, right? Find out what your ounces are and stick to that goal. Make it a checkbox in your planner. There's a water apps you can use on your phone. The First Form app has a water tracker that will help you track your water. Set a goal and stick to it. Make it a non-negotiable. If it's 7 p.m. and you still need to drink 40 ounces of water, get chugging. I'm telling you, you'll be peeing all night, and so you might want to front load that goal to the beginning of the day. Make a goal and make it non-negotiable. Keep a water bottle with you. Keep one in your bedroom, keep one on your desk, keep one in your car, keep one in your purse, keep one in your backpack. Keep water everywhere. Sometimes I keep a cup under my bathroom sink. So every time I go to the bathroom, I just fill up that cup and drink another 8 ounces of water. Have it accessible to you. We keep plastic water bottles in our car, like in the door jams. So then we're out and about. Maybe I don't have my water bottle with me. I always know I can grab one of those if I'm feeling dehydrated, okay? Replace other drinks with water. If you typically will order a soda when you go out, order water. It's cheaper too, right? 1-for-1 ratio. If you're having coffee, balance it out with water. If you're having alcohol, balance it out with water. If you're having, a soda at a restaurant, also get a water and try to drink both. So replace or complement the drinks you're already drinking with water. And if you don't like plain water, there's tons of little flavors. You can, throw a couple cucumber slices, a couple watermelon chunks, a couple strawberries, a slice of lemon in your water to help make it more palatable to you. That's totally fine. But try to keep the majority of that water like water. You can throw some berries in it. That's fine. But the sparkling water, the flavored water, the Gatorades, they're okay, but your bulk of your water should be water. Okay. Aim to drink 1 per hour, aim to drink 1 glass at every meal. Whatever little tips and tricks work for you to make a plan to get that water in, get it in. Okay, so that's the first tip. Second tip we're going to talk about is your sleep. Because if you're not sleeping well, you're waking up tired. You're probably feeling tired throughout the whole day. You might be falling asleep on the couch at 5 p.m. I posted a funny meme the other day. It was called your snoozer derv. I can't remember, but it was a funny thing about that nap that you take at like 7 p.m. before you go to bed at 9 p.m. Because you're just so tired, you can't make it till bedtime. It could be affected by the quality of sleep that you're having at nighttime. So the average adult needs at least 7 hours of sleep a night to feel truly rested, to get into those deep cycles of sleep. So you really want to be shooting for 7 hours, and every body is different. I know my son is he's like, I'm an 8-hour a night kid, and he's 16. So the fact that he knows it, I think, is pretty impressive. He's like, if I get less than 8 hours, he's like, I feel like crap all day. Where you might be a 7 hour or a 6.5, fine, but find what works for you. And especially if you're struggling with energy, really dial this one in. A couple ways to help regulate that is creating a sleep routine, having a set wake up time. Right? Most of us have that because our days kind of demand. Like, okay, we got to get to school, we got to get to work. We have commitments that make us get up at the same time. But a lot of us don't give ourselves a bedtime. And the fact is that your body loves being regular. It loves routine. Just like if you had a newborn baby, which we'll have soon, we put them on a sleep routine. They get up at the same time every day. They naturally will fall into a rhythm of when they eat and when they sleep, and they go to bed at the same time every day. We need to do that for ourselves as well, because it's so good for our health. It helps reduce our stress cortisol. It helps maintain our healthy heart balance. It helps give our bodies the opportunity for good quality sleep to repair itself overnight. Like, sleep is so much more important than just, sleep. There's a lot that goes on in your body at night that we need to be helping. So set wake up time, set bedtime. And obviously every once in a while you might have a late night. You have to go to a wedding or a party, or you have a kids event that goes late. But on the regular, I would say at least 7 to 6 nights a week, please try to get to bed around the same time. And I bet you will notice a difference. Avoid caffeine and alcohol. Okay. Now I know people like my friend Shell, she's like, girl, I can have a cup of coffee at 8 p.m. It doesn't bother me. She knows that works for her. Most people, if they're caffeine sensitive, they know, okay, I can't really have coffee after 2 or 3, or it's going to keep me up at night. Certain coffees, like I know I can have this brand of coffee, it doesn't bother me. If I have a Starbucks too late, I'm up all night, saving the world in my brain. So coffee is kind of an obvious one that we think of, but another one is alcohol. Like, a lot of people think, oh, well, when I have that glass of wine, it helps relax me, so then I sleep better. But the truth is, wine, alcohol, beer, liquor, all has a form of sugar. It breaks down to sugar. And so it can disrupt your sleep. You might fall asleep quicker, but you're finding you're waking up to go to the bathroom because you're probably dehydrated. You're chugging water. So you're getting up, you're restless, and it prevents you from getting into that deep sleep. So if you are going to have a glass of wine, have it earlier in your evening. Don't be having it in bed reading your book, although that sounds glorious in theory. In practicality, it's going to mess with your sleep, okay? So avoiding caffeine and alcohol for sure, and also avoiding blue lights. So one of the terms that we use in our house is a digital sunset. So just like you might, when your kids are little and they're potty training, you cut off their water at a certain time so they don't wet the bed. Cutting off your electronics at a certain time of the night to reduce the blue light that your eyes are seeing, or it's going to help you fall asleep quicker and deeper because it's signaling to your brain that it's nighttime. The blue lights on our phones, our tablets, our computers all stimulate the brain to think that it's still daytime. So it's like if you're trying to go to sleep, like all this commotion, I'm eating food, I'm drinking alcohol, I'm on my phone scrolling, and then, okay, now it's bedtime. It's like trying to go to sleep, like running into a brick wall. You need a transition time. So finding what works for you, having a cup of sleepy time tea, reading a book or a magazine, something non-electronic that will help you ease into your sleep routine, will help you fall asleep quicker and more soundly, especially if this is something that you struggle with. So cutting off those blue lights at a certain time is a huge tip. Another one is magnesium. Now, this is one that I wasn't really aware of until recently. Magnesium is so good for so many things in your body. And about 70% of people are deficient in magnesium. But one of the main things is it helps calm and reduce stress that helps you sleep. So Jim's actually been taking, because he's had sleep issues just over the years with military service and shift work and all that. And he does not want to take any kind of a stimulant because it makes you wake up groggy. Sometimes even Z-Quil or some of the over-the-counter ones can affect you into the next day. And who wants to feel like that? So he started taking the magnesium powder. We have greens at night, and he puts the magnesium powder right with his greens, and he's like, I sleep so good. I dream like crazy dreams, but he's like, I'm waking up feeling refreshed. So magnesium is one that if you do struggle with, you might want to try to add in to see if that helps for sure. And then the last one is reducing worry. So I know I've heard and I've seen recently where friends will be like, I can't sleep at night. Like I'm up worrying. I'm thinking about this. My brain is on go. Like what do I do? And a couple of the tips for that is to one, if your mind is spinning, I think one, easing into bedtime, having a bedtime routine for yourself will help. And part of that can be journaling. Like anything that's on your mind, just dump it in a journal. It can be having a prayer time, a quiet time. It could be meditation. It could be counting. It can be visualization, something that calms the mind and puts the mind's focus on something other than your grocery list and your kids' project and your next vacation, right? Put it all down on paper, and your brain doesn't feel like it has to hang on to it to regulate it in the middle of the night. Even if you have to wake up, write it down in the middle of the night, put it in your journal. I'll get to you tomorrow, so then you can go back to sleep. That could be helpful too. So number one, water, water, water. 2, do your sleep check and see if any of these tips will help you get more restful sleep. And then our third tip is micronutrients. So this is one that I'm super excited about. So yesterday in our video, we talked about macronutrients, which are those big portions or chemical makeups of our food: protein, carbs, and fat. Today, we're going to talk about micronutrients, and those are basically all the vitamins and minerals that are essential to our body that our body does not produce, okay? So like zinc and copper and vitamin D and vitamin A and vitamin C, our body doesn't make it, but it needs it, and so that's why they're called essential. And so we have to receive them from either our foods that we're eating, from like sunshine, from the outside, from the environment, or from supplements. And the sad part is there's so many, a high percentage of Americans that are deficient in a lot of these. Like I said, 70% of people are deficient in magnesium, 95% deficient in D, 45 are deficient in A, 46 are deficient in C. And so the idea is like, if over 50% of people are deficient in, say, magnesium, that means if I'm not deficient, you are, right? Statistically speaking. And so all these vitamin deficiencies add up to low energy because your bodies literally need them to function, and we're not getting them. We're not getting them from regular food a lot of the times, because even with a healthy diet, like you're like, hey, well, I'm eating good. I had chicken and salad for lunch, and I had some berries in my yogurt, which are all good choices. Whole food is the way to go. But the fact of the matter is, our soils are less nutrition. Our food processing is less nutritious. Processed foods that we're eating are deficient in a lot of these vitamins. So even if we're trying to eat healthy foods, we're not always going to get it. We're not going to get that 100%. Like when you open up your multivitamin and it says C 100%, A 100%, that is your security to make sure that you're putting all the micronutrients that your body needs in it every day. So if you feel low energy, I would definitely highly recommend looking at a high quality multivitamin. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on what works for me, because this is something that I struggled with for a long time, because I would go get like, one a day women's, or I'd even try like the ones from GNC, like, for athletes. And a lot of times they're hard packed pills, like tablets. And I would take them and I would be nauseous. Like it didn't matter if I took it with food, tons of water, hot coffee, like my body just couldn't digest those hard pills. And so what I would end up doing is just like taking a couple of my kids' gummy vitamins, which, like, let's be honest, are mostly not effective for a full-grown woman's body, right? Maybe somewhat helpful, but definitely not effective and not designed for what my body needs. So recently I started taking the First Form vitamins, and the reason that I love them is that all of our vitamins are capsules. And so they have the vitamins in powder form in a soft gel capsule. So what happens is when you take it, it digests easily, and it makes it more bioavailable, which means it's more efficient for your body to absorb the nutrients, and they don't make me nauseous, which is the main thing. Because when you don't want to put something in your body every day that makes you feel like crap when it's supposed to make you feel better, okay? Another thing with the vitamins is we always are looking for like that, the cup of coffee. You're like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. Oh, I have energy, right? It's that instant, your body instantly feels it. Well, you can't live your whole day on caffeine, right? The tricky part about vitamins is a lot of times you're not going to have that immediate fix. Like you're not going to take your multivitamin and be like, oh, I have all this energy. It's a long-term gain day after day after day that all of a sudden a week goes by and you're like, wow, I'm less tired today, because those vitamins build up in your system. So it's being consistent with them is huge too. So if you get them, you want to take them every day. I know the women's version, which is called Multifactor Goddess, it's like 40 days worth in one bottle. It's super affordable. It's like less than 60 cents a day. I think it's like a little bit over $20 for over a month of vitamins. And you will notice a difference. If you take it for a month, I guarantee it. And if you don't, one of the other things is First Form has 110% money back guarantee. So if you ever try anything, you're like, hey, I'm going to try this protein, and you don't like it, they'll give you your 110% back. You get the vitamins, you're like, I don't like these, you can send them back and they will give you your money back plus 10%, which I think is pretty awesome. Because every once in a while you might get a flavor or something, you're like, oh, I don't like this. Although everything I've had is pretty delicious. So multivitamin for sure, okay? And then a little bonus tip. So we've talked about water, we've talked about sleep, and then we talked about micronutrients. Those are the big three. But the little bonus tip that I wanted to add in is you might hear often, because it's kind of trendy, which I hate thinking about health and wellness as trendy, but sometimes, everybody jumps on this like, oh, gluten-free bandwagon or fat-free, or it's keto friendly, like it's trendy. One of the things you might be hearing about a lot lately is gut health, right? People do like detoxes or juice cleanse to like get their gut health up. The fact of the matter is the health of your gut is super important for your vitamin absorption. And so this is one factor of gut health, right? There's plenty of things you can research on that as far as digestion and bloating and, regularity. But the absorption of your vitamins and minerals happen 90% in your small intestines. So you want to make sure you are optimizing your gut health. If this is something that you're really trying to work on, is to up your micronutrients. Gut health can be important. And the one thing that I take for that is the OptiGreens, which is the green drink that I have at night. It's like 2 scoops and some water. Sometimes I add a little juice for flavor. It tastes good, but does help with bloating, gut health, digestion. It keeps you regular. So if this is something that you really are feeling low energy, I would recommend that one too as well. And that's one that I can noticeably feel different. It's like having a cup of coffee, but that doesn't keep you awake. You just feel like your cells are happy. I don't know how else to describe it. So energy, I'd love to hear if you're trying any of these, drinking that water, checking on your quality of sleep, trying those micronutrients. Again, if you happen to try any of the First Form products by the end of the week, you get entered for our grand prize. Anyone who's a First Form customer or an app user will get all these videos sent to them, and will also be invited to a one-on-one Zoom call next Monday. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to post all these notes in the video description, and I hope you have a wonderful and energetic day. Bye, friends.